About half of the world's languages will be gone in a generation. That's around 3,500 languages, and each one of those is a worldview. For a few years, I've been creating a language called Is. I'm not a linguist, I'm just an artist, and this language is an ongoing art project. This is the Is alphabet on the left side of each column. On the right side, you have the corresponding International Phonetic Alphabet. Typing in Is, calligraphy in Is. One of the things I do in this language is create visual art. The plumage of these crow's feathers is in poems and phrases in the Is language. Of course, we don't get to choose the language we're born into. We inherit its filters, its assumptions, and its worldview. A language is like a set of lenses that we're equipped with. So I was curious what it might be like to try and engineer a different set of lenses, other interpretive filters for interpreting reality. It all began as a thought experiment. I'd like to spend a few minutes exploring 3 basic facets of the Is language: its vertical, horizontal, and creative dimensions. Let's start with the vertical dimension. In the Is language, words can be conjugated or declined by levels of depth. One easy way to conceptualize this is the color spectrum. The root form of the word oyauna means to consider, regard, or contemplate. Let's look at 7 levels of this one word, oyauna, and see how the meaning of this word is modified as it migrates among these distinct levels. Level 1, oyaunajo, consider with senses. Level 2, oyaunajoi, consider with emotion. Level 3, oyaunaje, consider with thought. Level 4, oyaunaju, consider with deep thought. Level 5, oyaunaji, consider with subtle mind, transcluding thought. Transcluding is a word I made up on accident, and I blame Ken Wilber. Level 6, oyaunajai, to consider with the essential self. And level 7, oyaunajao, to consider with the unborn, unmade being. Oyaunajo, oyaunajoi, oyaunaje, oyaunaju, oyaunaji, oyaunajai, oyaunajao. So we can see how a word such as oyauna slides up and down among these vertical levels. That's the vertical dimension of the Is language. Now let's look at the horizontal aspect. Horizontal just means one word can be pointed in different directions to produce different meanings. What a word means in Is depends on which way you point it. For example, let's take the same word, oyauna, and point it in different horizontal directions at each vertical level of depth. In one direction, it's pronounced oyauna. In the other, it's anawoi. It's just a straightforward inversion or a flip of the phonemes. By the way, I have a terrible accent in Is. These phonetic inversions of forward and reverse would be first nature to a native speaker. Level 1, first direction, oyaunajo. Second direction, ojanawoi. Level 2, first direction, oyaunajoi. Second direction, ojanawoi. Level 3, first direction, oyaunaje. Second direction, ejanawoi. Level 4, first direction, oyaunaju. Second direction, ujanawoi. Level 5, first direction, oyaunaji. Second direction, ejanawoi. Level 6, first direction, oyaunajai. Second direction, aijanawoi. Level 7, first direction, oyaunajao. Second direction, aujanawoi. So that's the horizontal dimension of the Is language. A word can be pointed in different directions to produce different meanings. It's a single word with multiple directions. We've talked about the vertical aspect and the horizontal aspect. Last but not least, let's look at the creative stuff. The purpose of this language is not just to create words that already have an equivalent in other languages. So for instance, there's no word for fork in the is language. So if that's what you're here for, you're forked. What's fun, I think, is to try and create new words or fashion novel concepts, because there are significant realities in our human experience that don't have signifiers attached to them. We have inner significance that is not outwardly signified. And this language could be a source of thousands of new words which refer to felt experiences or emergent phenomena in our shared inner landscape. A creative endeavor to engender depth, to find new lenses or new filters. This word means a respiration of selves. Meeting and parting are a respiration of our dynamic identities, which are shifting and morphing with every encounter we have with each other. That's goodbye in is, an exhalation in the respiration of us. So, Anul.